Okay. Let's see. May 11th. The pattern. It's today. The problem that Howard Hughes presented to all who chose to work with him in some capacity was that he carefully constructed a public image that concealed the glaring weaknesses in his character. Instead of the irrational micromanager, he would present himself as a rugged individualist and a consummate American maverick. Most damaging of all was his inability to portray himself as a successful businessman. Was his ability to portray himself as a successful businessman leading a billion-dollar empire. In truth, he had inherited a highly profitable tool business from his father. Over the years, the only parts of his empire that ran substantial profits were the tool company and the earlier version of Hughes aircraft that he had spun out of the tool company. The many other businesses he personally ran, his later aircraft division, his film ventures, his hotels, real estate in Las Vegas, all lost substantial amounts that were fortunately covered by the other two. In fact, Hughes was a terrible businessman, and the pattern of failures that revealed this was plain for everyone to see. But this was the blind spot in human nature. We are poorly equipped to gauge the character of the people we deal with. Their public image, the reputation that precedes them, easily mesmerizes us. We are captivated by appearances. If they surround themselves with some alluring myth, as Hughes did, we want to believe in it. Instead of determining people's character, their ability to work with others, to keep to their promises, to remain strong in adverse circumstances, we choose to work with or hire people based on their glittering resume, their intelligence, and their charm. But even the positive traits such as intelligence, but such a positive trait such as intelligence is worthless if the person also happens to be of weak or dubious character. And so, because of our blind spot, we suffer under the irresolute leader, the micromanaging bosses, the conniving partner. This is the source of endless tragedies in history, our pattern as a species. Daily law. Ignore the front that people display, the myth that surrounds them, and instead plumb their depths for signs of their character. This can be seen in the patterns that reveal from their past, the quality of their decisions, how they delegate authority and work with others, and countless other signs. As from the laws of human nature, number 4, determine the strengths of people's character, the law of compulsive behavior. Yep. There's no getting around that. You can run, but you cannot hide from your compulsive behaviors. And we all have them. Some more than others, but they're there. I'm sure I'm chock full of them. I'm compulsive just in general. Maybe impulsive is a better word. I don't know if I'm compulsive, now that I said that. I know I can be very impulsive. That's something I have to keep a leash on. Aside from that, what's going on? I don't know. I've been out of the loop with the interwebs, so I can't really talk about that. What I can talk about, let me see, I'm back at it with Claude, playing around with that AI. And I'm now compiling, probably said this before, just a strict version of all my training sessions solely founded on the Hermetic principles. I'm loving it. I think it's coming out perfect. And I'm making audio overviews of each one So I think I'm on the 5th. I think I'm going on the 6th one. So I'm almost actually done. I'll probably finish that today. Once I have a good set in place, then I think this might be the one. Now I'm really going to have to come up with some sort of like marketing strategy. See what happens. Just getting a group of people together to listen to what I have to say. Because that has to be the next step. Otherwise, all this was a waste of time. If I don't do something with this. I don't like wasting time. I have to force myself to do it. Other than that, let's see. I had a bunch of dreams, a bunch of crazy dreams, like one after another. I didn't even take melatonin. That was pretty wild. But one of them, for sure, I realized in the middle of dreaming, or in the middle of the dream, that I was dreaming. I knew it. I remember saying to myself, or thinking in my head, "Oh, this is a dream." And I remember this happening before, and the moment I realized it, like the dream started to fade away because I started to focus on the fact that it's a dream. But this time I knew not to do that. So I was able to make it last for a really long time. I don't know if this is what lucid dreaming is, I guess. Maybe. But this dream was like I was flying, like over different landscapes. And I knew if I didn't focus on like the things I was flying over, I knew that if I could just keep focus on the flying and not what I was flying over, that the dream would last longer. It wouldn't go away. And it seemed to have worked. It seemed like that dream was going on for a long time, which is pretty cool. Then I had a whole bunch of other crazy dreams. The other one I remember, it was weird. It's like I found this little, I don't know what it was, like a little tool for what seemed like, I don't even know, because I would never do this in the real world. So I don't know what would possess me to do this in a dream. But I found like a little tool that looked like it was for like trimming your eyelashes. I don't know why anybody would want to trim their eyelashes, but that's what it looked like it was for. And then like when I just kind of touched it, then it didn't even do anything. I just kind of touched my eyelashes with it, and it like just cut them all off on its own. I was like, oh shit. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and because in my mind, the only thing that made sense was because my eyelashes were cut, both of them. This was so weird that it made me look completely different. So when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't even look like me. I looked like a completely different person. It was very strange, this dream. And I remember like, I don't know. Remember in the dream, my eyelashes were like really long, like they needed to be cut, like they grew like hair, like on your head. It was so weird. I don't know if I can remember any other things that I dreamt, but I know I dreamt all night. It was one of those nights. Very, very interesting. The flying one was cool. Not even the dream itself. The most interesting part of that was remembering in the dream, thinking to myself, "Oh, I'm dreaming. This is not real." Because that hasn't happened until recently. It's happened like maybe a handful of times before, but I haven't been able to hold on to the dream like I did in this one. Very interesting. The mind does fascinating things when it's at rest, or when it's not being forced to focus on the external world, what it does by itself when the body shuts down. It's pretty interesting. Hopefully they didn't block off any of my lanes over there near work. Otherwise, I'll have to shut this down early. I had a great day with the dogs yesterday. That was a lot of fun. What else? I don't know. Took a cold shower this morning so I could wake up. Speaking of, let's have a little bit of drink. That's tasty. What else is going on? I don't even know. Kind of interested to see what the pods have to say today. And I'm excited to play with Claude a little bit more. See what I can finish today. So what I've created so far is like there'll be 7 different documents. I've done 5. I think there's 2 more to go. And then I have an audio overview for each one. So that little collection of things is pretty cool. I just have no idea how to market this as like a business. I've never done anything like that before. So normally what they say to do is you sit on all the social medias with the handle that you're going to use. So I have an I lead my pack for I think. Well, I have my Instagram. I don't know if I did one on X. They say to do all of them, but it sounds very exhausting. Well, I guess if this is all I had to do, like if I wasn't having to go to this job and I could actually just make a living doing something with dogs and this, I'd have a lot more time to do this stuff with. But in my mind, what I should be doing, like for every hermetic principle, I should make a video with like a clip, with clips or whatever they're called. I can use the audio overview in the clip, I guess. I don't know, but it's kind of like a podcast, like a 5-minute podcast. I think it's hilarious how much my woman hates the woman because it's a guy and a female. That's all AI generated. My woman hates the AI woman. I think it's hilarious. Makes me laugh. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's bad at all, really. It's just funny. Because you know what I know what it is. It sounds super scripted. Like, it doesn't sound like natural people just talking in a podcast. It sounds like forcefully, like script, like just scripted. Is the best word I can come up with. It's not like it sounds like Joe Rogan or like Theo Vaughn just having a casual conversation. It just sounds it sounds like actors. It doesn't sound like people. That's the worst part. If it could sound more natural, just like people. But it sounds way too like polished and like focused. But there's no way to prompt that out. Well, I'm sure there is, but that would probably require a paid version of one of these AIs. The only thing I could do is just prompts. It's just 3 words: generate audio overview. So I'm sure you could change like how they sound. I paid for Gemini. That's what I use for the audio overview is Gemini. Oh, and then let me see. Just random thought because I'm thinking about dogs. Me and my woman went to the store, and somebody had posted these like lost dog printouts on like these trees, but it's multiple dogs. Not that they weren't lost dogs. It's dogs for sale. It said. And right away, I'm like, "Oh, you're some sort of fucking backyard breeder. This is not cool." Because a legitimate breeder wouldn't just grab like sheets of printer paper with a Sharpie and print out a dog and just scribble your number on there with all the information. A legitimate breeder would have a legitimate advertisement for their situation. And they're all like Labradoodle kind of dogs, which are pretty popular. But fuck you and your backyard breeding. I'm not into all that. That's bringing out the activist in me. I'm looking at all, because as we're walking to the store, passing multiple trees, and we're seeing, it wasn't just like one, stapled paper with a picture of one dog. It was like multiple dogs as we're walking. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Sorry, I'm cussing a lot. I get angry. I can feel myself getting worked up over this. Bringing out the activist. That's what I told my woman. This is bringing out the activist in me. I need to hunt these people down. This is not legitimate. So she took a bunch of pictures and we sent them to one of our friends from the rescue world, because she will do the legwork. She's got a big, if I remember correctly, I think she's got a pretty big following on social media when it comes to her activism. I forget what it was called. I'd shout her out if I could. I don't want to say her name. What is the name of her Instagram or her social media thing? Darn it. I don't remember. But she's got an in with like the police department and all kinds of stuff. Crime Stoppers. That's what it's called. If you look up Crime Stoppers, I believe that's it. Pretty sure my woman will let me know. But I believe that's her thing. That's what triggered it. She has some sort of like connection with like the police department. She's all over the place when it comes to like dropping dimes on people who need dimes to be dropped. But she's cool. She was very committed to the rescue that we were with. She was one of the people I don't particularly mind seeing every now and then. Everybody else can go pound sand. Maybe there's a couple more. It's funny too because we run into her every once in a while when we're at like Whole Foods or whatever, Sprouts, or she's got the 411 on everybody. Just keeps up on the keeping up. Those were some interesting days back then. Being a part of that. It sure changed me, that's for sure. Being in that whole world and like dealing with it to the depths that I did. Like working with those animals, period, kind of turned me into a different person. For the better, I think. At least when it was in the aspect of like a volunteer position. And I think it was is like I took on a position of responsibility that I really didn't have to take on. I chose to do that and to get involved as much as I did, and to dedicate myself as much as I did. Because I've never done that to that degree ever with anything in my life. That like I brought out a side of me I didn't even know I had. To be honest, even in this like phase right now, like sole income earner, I guess I could say, for now, anyways. Like bringing out a side of me that I didn't even really know I had. Like just the level of dedication and care that a prior life did not bring out of me. Alright, I'm over the hill. I don't see any blinking arrows indicating lane closure. Let's just get over, cruise in this lane. That's a pretty car. The Mercedes-Benz SLS. I would not mind one of those. Those must eat up gas like crazy, though. Those have a monster. I think those have like a V12 in them. There's like some sort of crazy motor in that. Unless they knocked it down. Maybe the new version might have like a twin turbo V8. Or they call them bi-turbos. But I think the older ones, the old SLS, I think they have like a gigantic V12 in them. I can only imagine how much gas that must eat up. It's a cool little BMW. Little 3 Series. I love how they put the what's it called? Like that lighting around the grill on the BMWs in front. A lot of cool things going on with the styling in cars. Man, these little coffee drinks are fantastic. I forget who makes them. Otherwise, I would shout them out. But you can get them everywhere, like Whole Foods, Sprouts. Get what it's called. Alright, almost there. No lane closures, so that's cool. And thank goodness I didn't wake up with a headache. That was just awful that day. What a way to ruin the morning. Just to wake up with a terrible headache. Oh, his brake lights are completely out. I hope he knows this. I'm pretty sure, like, I've said this before and I've seen it on another video I've made. Pretty sure his brake lights work when he steps on them, but his running lights are completely off. It's just a fuse. This is why you do walk around. Where I park, when I turn my lights on, my parking area, I can see the glow from my lights. I'm always checking that. It's just a habit from being a trucker. And then when I step on them, you can see them go on. A little off. Probably couldn't even tell. Phone's all tilted to the side. It doesn't matter. All right. My exit is open. I wonder how loud I could turn this up until you guys can hear it. Let's see. Because normally I'd probably be listening to this classical channel this high while I'm driving, but I don't know if noise canceling kills it. So I want to see if at the end of this video you could hear it. I don't think there's like a copyright situation. There shouldn't be. Classical music should be like in part of the public domain by this point. I mean, who can you own a copyright on on these old classical songs? I don't even know. We'll see if I get a strike. But I kind of miss listening to classical on the way. But I didn't know if it's gonna get in the way of what of like being able to post this stuff up. So we'll see. Cause I can hear it pretty good. All right, that's KUSC. That's my favorite. I'm so weird when it comes to my music. It has to be complete. Well, not that's not true. Because sometimes I'll throw on my EDM on the way home, but I have to be careful with that because that gets my energy going and it makes me want to drive like a madman. The classical calms me down. So, all right, I'm here. I'm safe. Everybody have a great day. Let's go to work.